Hi, it's Tessa with Hip Over 50. HipOver50.com is a place where I mostly give advice about moving abroad, particularly to England, but I also talk about lifestyle, places to go, things to do, and mindfulness. Mindfulness is just being aware of what your thoughts and feelings are and how they affect your inner and your outer life. So let's dive in. Today, I'm going to talk about how to overcome fear. Let's face it, the world has been pretty scary lately, hasn't it? I mean, come on. A pandemic, a war, politics. Our world is starting to look like it's evolving to a place that none of us really could quite imagine. And none of us like change. I mean, we really don't. And we especially don't like change as we get older because we feel like, hey, we've earned the right to some peace and quiet here, come on. But overcoming fear is appropriate at any age. I think we all can fall prey to feeling like things aren't going to be okay, that I'm not safe. When I say overcoming fear, I'm talking about not actual physical fear, things that are unsafe, like whether you're in a war zone or whether you're walking down a dark street. I'm talking about overcoming the fearful thoughts that you may have during the day or at night when you wake up in the middle of the night and say, God, what's going to happen? I can't anticipate what's going to happen because things just keep changing. And so it's easy to get fearful. It's easy to think things aren't going to work out, that you're not going to be safe. But the reality is that other than your physical safety, like I said, I'm not talking about taking risks about being in an unsafe area or doing unsafe practices, putting your physical body at risk. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the things that you can do in your own head to conquer those feelings of fear. And that comes back to your thoughts and your feelings. Sometimes when we put one, two, three, four, five, or more thoughts together, and we have hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of thoughts a day. So there's plenty of opportunity for us to put a few thoughts together and come up with the conclusion that we have reason to be fearful. We have reason to be fearful about what's going to happen to us, what's going to happen to our world, maybe what's going to happen with our finances, what's going to happen with our relationship, what's going to happen with our kids. It's easy to put together things and say, I have a reason to be afraid. But just come back to the idea that those are just thoughts. They are not reality. They're not. We look at something, we think, oh, the sky is blue. Well, yes and no. I mean, it is different shades of blue. It could be white, it could be gray, it could be purple. Everything you see is your perception of it, and that's okay. But when your perception of something is scaring the living bejesus out of you, then you have to stop and go, that's not okay. I need to start monitoring my thoughts. I need to start basically telling myself, get over it. You don't have to be afraid of anything. You don't have to be afraid of what hasn't happened yet. We don't need to be afraid of what hasn't happened yet. We don't need to pre-worry, as somebody once told me, because it does absolutely no good whatsoever. All it does is it puts you in a state where if something does happen that you need to kind of be on your, best behavior about, or you need to get on it, then you're not going to be in a good position to do that. So overcoming fear is about monitoring your thoughts, making sure that you're questioning whether those thoughts are really based on reality or if it's just something you've kind of glommed onto or you've heard or you've read or somebody else has told you, and question them. You don't know for sure what's going to happen in the war. You don't know for sure what's going to happen in the pandemic. You don't know for sure what's going to happen next week. All you know is what's happening right now. And right now, I'm guessing you are safe. And you can continue to keep yourself safe by thinking, I am capable of keeping myself safe. I am capable of controlling the outcome of any situation. I can choose to remove myself from situations where I feel unsafe. I can choose to speak up about something that makes me feel unsafe. I can choose to not think thoughts that make me feel unsafe. I can choose to expect a positive outcome, whether it's for myself, my children, my partner, my job, my home. I can choose to focus on the positive outcomes that could happen versus the negative outcomes, which cause me to be fearful. So always question your thoughts. If your feelings are starting to get very extreme, like you're feeling really fearful or really, you're afraid to go out or you're afraid of what's going to happen, then it's your thoughts that are starting to create those feelings. And you have control over your thoughts at any time. Don't be afraid just as a go-to emotion. That is going to wear on you, affect your health, affect your well-being, and affect the outcome of whatever happens to you. Don't choose fear over hope. Don't choose fear over desire. Don't choose fear over faith. Always stop and question your thoughts and ask yourself if you truly have reason to be fearful or if it's just thought. I hope that's helpful. If you have any comments, please drop them in the box below, and I'll look forward to talking with you soon.